Hey, this is Jaime with Echo Real Estate Advisors. Today we're looking at drip campaigns, what they are, and most importantly, how to use them in our business. So let's just dive in. Now, drip campaigns, what are they? Drip campaigns are anything that is either an email, text, phone, any form of communication that you can think of that is sent out in a sequence as you're taking a customer or a potential customer, a potential client down the funnel that you will have created for your sales process. So if you're a real estate agent, you're looking at that client that showed interest in one of your listings or one of your ads, where you're coaching them along and really getting them to know you, getting them to like you, and ultimately use you down that sales track. So drip campaigns is nothing more than a sequence form of communication. Again, it can manifest itself in an email. It can manifest itself as a text, as a phone call, in person. So as you think any type of relationship, whether that be from a client or a customer perspective, any type of relationship is a drip campaign. It's just manifested in a different way. This particular video is going to show you how to do that via text and email. So you're going to have a thorough understanding of how to actually implement it into your business. So who sends? A lot of people use drip campaigns as in an automated sense. Every time that people are talking about, well, just put them on your drip, put them on your drip. They're essentially saying, hey, put them in an automated sequence that you don't have to do the send outs manually. So in theory, in actuality, I guess, you can do a drip campaign manually or automated. But what makes most sense and what's commonly referred to is the automated version. So that's what we're going to do, as it's not going to provide you too much value to give you a manual way of doing it, because everyone does it differently. And really, there's not as much scalability when you're talking about sending emails to clients that are at different points in their sales journey or in their potential client journey with you. So we're going to do the automated version. And how you make a drip campaign automated, you're looking at CRMs, you're looking at emails, you're looking at text, you're looking at web-based integrators. So CRMs, customer relationship managers, those commonly have an email functionality to it or a text functionality to it, or you have email autoresponders that's all they do. So when I say that, I'm talking about Constant Contact, iContact, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp. Those are the email autoresponders. And then you have some companies that are only dedicated to text campaigns that send text to phone numbers that you program into the system, and it goes out. And when we're talking about web-based integrators, I'm talking about the Zapiers of the world, which take an action from some software, some online platform, and then it causes another action from another software. So a clear example would be when you get a Facebook lead into your accounts manager or your ads manager on Facebook, you use Zapier to connect it with any form of CRM or any email autoresponder or text autoresponder that doesn't have a direct integration with Facebook. And for the sake of our example today, we're going to use LionDesk, and I have a 30-day email drip buyer campaign that you're going to find right on the description below. So what you're seeing now, what you're about to see now when it comes to a 30-day email text buyer drip, you do have access to that in the description below. And we're gonna do the example on LionDesk. LionDesk is a CRM that I use, and the reason that I like it is because it's not very expensive. You're looking at $25 a month. It does email and it does text auto respond. So I don't need a CRM and then an independent software like Aweber or ActiveCampaign or any email autoresponder and then a text autoresponder on top of that. I have one cost and it serves the functionality of so much other, just has so much more functionality. Said that wrong. So let's jump over to LionDesk. All right. So those that are familiar with LionDesk, you know what it looks like. This isn't a LionDesk tutorial per se. This is just a system to show you the practical way that people are using them. Because again, to go back to the earliest point that I made, a lot of people take that for granted. Just say, hey, put that on that drip campaign. Well, there's that actual functionality of, well, how do I do that? How is that done? So all of the softwares are different. So if you have Aweber, if you have Constant Contact, if you have iContact, they're all going to perform the same function, except they're going to be different in how you do the setting up of that. So setting up of that function. So with this, what you need is a message, which is over here on the PDF. Again, this is on the description below. Just click on it and download it, and it's all yours. And it's a buyer drip sequence. So it's a buyer drip campaign that includes emails and text. So this is essentially all the things that we put here, all the things that are on here that are labeled exactly the day, exactly the number of emails that have been sent, and exactly the day for that text. All you need to do is copy and paste, and I'll show you the first two so you get familiar with it. Again, if you don't have LionDesk, then you're going to be doing it a little bit differently depending on which either CRM that has an email autoresponder or email autoresponder that you already have. That's what you're going to be using. I just want to show you the practical way of doing it, and it's very simple. So we're just going to dive in. We're going to add a folder, and we're going to put test buyer drip campaign short test 30-day buyer drip campaign. So I added a folder, and this is more for organizational purposes. There it is. You're going to click on template, and you're going to see that there is not a template there. But at this point, what you're going to do is create an email template, provide a short description. You're going to go over to the PDF. Going to copy that. So you want to put the qualifier. Typically what I do is I put, if it's a buyer type of campaign, I call that out at the very beginning. If it's a seller, I call that out again at the very beginning, because there's two journeys. You're either a buyer or you're a seller, or you're an investor. Sure, there's more, but either you're a buyer or seller for our purposes. The naming convention doesn't matter. That's whatever system that you use is the one that you're going to use. And then with the subject line, you're going to go over here, and we're going to do thank you. And the reason that we're going straight off with a thank you is this is an online lead. If you did not source this lead via an online platform, or if you received the lead from some other mechanism, then this first email may not be prudent, or you may need to adjust it a little bit. Again, the assumption being made with this buyer drip campaign is that it's an online lead. So just copy and paste the thank you. And then we go into whatever is in brackets. It's whatever's in brackets, it's for you to add. So it's for you to customize. Okay. All right, name name, we want their name. So with Line Desk, what you're gonna do is click here, which essentially is as soon as you get the lead, you're gonna have their contact information on here. If you're looking if you wanna see how to do an automation from a Facebook lead over to the Line Desk, there's another video on this channel that'll show you how that happens. So, excuse me. From an automated standpoint, you're looking at creating the Facebook. You're creating the Facebook lead, and it's going to go over to your Line Desk in an automated way. Line Desk has the direct link, so you don't need Zapier at this point to create that. Before you did, but not at this point. So the lead is going to go over to your Line Desk. It's going to populate the first name, last name, phone number, email, whatever you asked on Facebook is what's going to be transferred over to your lead. And then at that point, you can have an email, you can have it immediately go to your drip campaign, and then it fires off. So whatever you're going to create here, this is one part of it. Know that you still need that lead to be assigned to this campaign in order for it to trigger and to continue going on his journey. So again, there's another video on that. It would be too long for me to include it in one video, so go and check that one out. All right, we're only looking for the contact name, and you see here that has changed. So it's going to pull their first name as soon as you get that lead, and then as soon as that lead is matched up with this drip campaign, it's going to start firing off everything that we're doing. And since in this example we are saying that it came from Facebook, that's what we will call out. The email signature is something that you set up on your settings, so that's already pre-programmed there. Then you're going to put which folder you want it under. Again, it's for organizational purposes, and the folder that we created was that test buyer drip campaign. We're going to save that template, and we're done. We're done with creating the first email. We've created the first email. We still haven't put a sequence behind it. So what we're going to do at this point is go back to templates. I'm sorry, we should have just scrolled up. We're going to create another email template. Notice that these are texts. Well, that's a little bit different, and I'll show you where to go with that. We're going to look for, technically the second email is supposed to be a customized one. That is more on you to create. So since it's already your homework, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna jump straight to the second. The third email, and copy and paste that. If I can. Here we go. Fire drip. Then the subject line is any questions. You can go here. And then you're gonna, again, call them out by name. Establish that familiarity. Now, what's important here, and I will need to edit this on I think I already have, but those brackets, we don't want those types of brackets. We want LionDesk to pull exactly like this. So every time you see brackets, make sure that you're inputting your own information or having a live field within your email autoresponder to replace that, because those brackets are not going to work. So either delete that or put a generic hello or something else like that, but certainly don't leave a bracket name bracket. Don't do that, because it's not going to pull from anything and people are going to see that, well, this person just copied and pasted. So you don't want it to lose that personal feel. So then here you would just put your phone number, 123. Then 2. Why am I putting? Okay, so that's the business phone number. There we go. And then you're done. So you put it on that test buyer drip campaign. Now we're going to create a text template, and then we're going to go over into actually setting up that sequence. Right now what we're putting into LionDesk is the actual content. So that's important. A lot of people stop at this point. They create it, but then they don't know what to do. They don't take the additional step in to actually put them into the sequence. This is the difficult part. As you can see, it's not very difficult at all. All you need to do is copy and paste. But a lot of people miss it and just stop here. They would get frustrated, or they didn't know to go and actually set up the sequence. A lot of other reasons. So I will create one text template so you see it, and then we're going to start creating the actual sequence. Well, I'll put that, I'll come back and change it. We're going to put buyer drip. And then here, again, keep that in mind that you do need to take out those brackets. So we're saying to LionDesk, hey, pull this person's first name. So hi, first name, hope you're having a great day. Thanks for your interest in, then the address. Now, dependent on what, now this is a tricky one. A lot of people will miss this one. So if it becomes too tricky, don't do it. So the address, notice that we're pulling from that Leeds street home address. So whatever you're asking for, be sure that you tag them appropriately when it's coming into your LionDesk, when it's coming into your CRM. If it becomes too tricky, omit that part. If you're having just a general address out, if you have multiple listings and it becomes more cumbersome to actually attribute every single lead to a specific address, then don't. Keep it simple. All you would need to do at that point is thanks for your interest in our property, and then just leave it at that. So for the sake of this example, I'll do that. Again, you can make it more specific to where it feels a little bit more not as mechanical. So that is totally an option. This is something you can customize to you. The template is there to use it. You can copy it straight from there as you see me doing that now, or you can make it work for your needs. Again, if you're going to have a bit more, if you want to get a little bit more molecular, but actually do a little bit more work on it, then yes, keep that live field of it pulling an actual property address. If not, then leaving it as is is going to be okay. And there you go. So let's look at that folder real quick. You see that I have a buyer drip text, and then a buyer drip email, and then a buyer drip email 3. Again, there's supposed to be a second email that you craft, but that's on you. So be sure that you read this section and actually implement it. We can get a lot more fancy. We can get fancier, I guess is a better way of saying it, where we do live video and then send it, or have a pre-recorded video uploaded into here, into LionDesk, and it fires off as well. So there's a lot of creative things that you can do, but for the sake of this example and to keep it as simple, just so you understand that at least the fundamentals and how to create them, we won't get into actually sending automated automated video responses, but know that the capability is there. Now that we have our folder, again, you would just go through this entire PDF. It's 6 pages, so it's not too long, but you're getting 9 emails and I believe 7 texts. So this is in a span of 30 days. So reaching out to them 16 days out of the 30 is going to be a good indicator if there's some interest or not. You can have extended email sequences, but this is the first 30 days. We want them to stay as engaged as possible, or at least engage with us. This is keeping in mind that we are trying to reach out to them, but if they're not reachable, or if they have not returned any of our emails and our texts, then we continue to reach out to them. Notice that I don't have a phone call sequence here, but any phone calls, whatever your system is for that, anything added to this just improves your chances to communicate with them and actually reach them exponentially. So this is going to set them up on an automated drip campaign, and they can always opt out. They provided you their information, so they gave you permission to reach out, and you're going to do just that. You're going to reach out to them via text. You're certainly going to call, but you don't want to let more than 5 minutes go by without that phone call from the initial interest. You're going to send them emails, and they're always going to have the option to tell you, hey, stop, I had a misclick, or I just wanted information on this, but I'm really not interested. At least there's some finality to it. If they're telling you on email 8, like, hey, yeah, I misclicked, I'm not in the market right now. Great. When will you be in the market? Can I put you on my long drip campaign? Which essentially you can have it go for infinity until they opt out. So it's much better for them to opt out, because you don't want people to affect your deliverability. So I would much rather over communicate at the beginning and risk them opting out, because I would much rather them be out versus them being in and be a non-engaged person for the rest of their lives. So if they see 16 communications, email and text, in addition to my phone, but if they see those 16 email and text communications and they don't want any part of it, I would much rather them tell me now, so they don't affect my email deliverability or any of my deliverability efforts down the road. So they can always opt out. That's always going to be not going to be the solution, but that's always an option, and that's something that you certainly do want to provide them, because you don't want to get any spamming laws either. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is create a new autopilot. Test buyer drip autopilot. You can name it anything you want. Buyer drip. No, Well, since this is test, I'll delete it later. Okay, now you're going to do test. Now you're going to go to tasks. This is where you're setting up the sequences. You're going to add a new task, and you're going to tell it what type of task you're instructing it. So you see there's other forms of, you can do a call contact, you can do a direct mail. Line desk is growing. So I would highly encourage it. There's a link down below. So feel free to use it to go to Line Desk directly. It's all good if you're interested in it. So right now we're going to do the email contact, and we want this to pull from right there, and we want that first email sent immediately. So minutes later, delay 0 minutes. As soon as this contact gets created, I want you to send this email. As soon as this contact gets created, and assuming you've already made that connection between the campaign and the lead, as soon as it comes in, as soon as those two meet, I want you to send this email. So you're going to add that task, and there's that first task. Now you're going to add another task. You're going to go to that email again, and then you're going to go back to that test buyer. Then you're going to do that third email. Keep in mind there's that second email that you will send in a customized way, as that's something that you don't want to automate, and it becomes very difficult to actually automate it. So avoid yourself any hassle. It's much better to send one email versus sending the 10 emails in the first 10 days and remembering to do that. So we want that 3 days later, and we want to send it at 9 a.m. after their email flush. So a lot of people, when they wake up, they'll go to the phone and then they'll start deleting whatever they don't need to start their day off fresh. So you want to avoid that email flush and actually hit them after their inbox, in theory, is fresh. So I'll either send it at 9 or 9:15. So the first email I'll either send between 9 and 10 because of that email flush. And then also, I don't want to hit their inbox at a certain time. I don't want to hit their inbox every single time at the same time, because again, I don't want my email deliverability to be impacted. So if their inbox starts picking up, hey, I'm going to get an email from jresendez at echorealadvisors.com every single day at 9 a.m., although it won't be every single day, but for the sake of this example, I don't want their inbox to catch that rhythm and start putting me in that junk folder. Does that make sense? So just play around with the times. What's worked out well for me has been sending them out and cycle them through. That first email is going to go off at 9. That first automated email is going to go off at 9. The second one at 9:15. The third one at 9:30, and things like that. So for this one, we're going to do 9 a.m. We're going to add that task, and you just keep going. Now to add the text, all right, so the Lion Desk custom number, I believe it's $2, or it could be $1, something like that. It's not too expensive. So I'm going to put stop on text reply, so yes. Minutes later, 0 minutes, which I wanted to go off immediately. I'm going to add that task, and I'm there. So stop on reply. Once they reply, essentially what I'm telling with stop on reply, I take over at that point. So again, the goal is to get some engagement. And if you pick up the phone and if you've called them and they've picked up, fantastic. Start the communication. You can actually turn off the drip. But a lot of online leads, what you'll find if you haven't already, they'll inquire and then it'll take them a little while to open up to you, in the sense of you have to continue to reach out to them. They either may not pick up the phone or may not answer text or won't answer your emails. So you do want to keep them on that email drip campaign to maximize the opportunity of reaching out to them. So the reason that this was 30 days is because we want to be as active as possible in those first 30 days, as there was a reason for that inquiry and we want to find out what it is. We don't want to, we certainly do want to put them in a long drip campaign, but we do want to approach them in their time of need, in their time that they were actually either at Zillow or were actually at Facebook, were actually at Trulia, and they sent us their information, so that there was some sort of need at that point, which caused them to reach out. So we want to reach out to them as quickly as possible, and this is how you do it. This is really the technical way of doing a drip campaign. You can certainly have your system and do it manually. You can put it on your calendar, but why would you when you have this capability at your fingertips? Again, this is just one way of doing it in LionDesk. Well, one way of doing it within one CRM out of hundreds. There's a lot of other options out there. I personally use LionDesk, as you see, but you can use any other out there that has an integrated email autoresponder or a text autoresponder. You can certainly use them. It's going to look different than this, but that's fine. You have the content. Again, this is on the description below, and you have what to, oops, what did I do? Okay, I don't know how to revert it back. I'll rotate left. You have this at your fingertips. All it is, it's just a copy and paste, and then do some adjustments that are unique to you. If there's an email that doesn't make sense in your sequence, take it out, add your own flavor. If there's some wording that you probably won't use, then change it and add your own spin to it. So this is a great start. You feel free to copy and paste directly over. This is exactly how to do a drip campaign. If there's any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in that comment section. Again, everything that you saw today is going to be in the description below. And yeah, that's a drip campaign.